peed on myself, I peed on other dudes, I peed on poop. Yeah, poop.
What do you do if you really have to take a poop while in the middle of combat?
You know, if you're sitting on the side, your leg is all the way in the water, and they're like, there's alligators in here, there's snakes in here.
Welcome everybody to Shift Fire. I'm Israel Wright.
And my name is Cameron Fath, and welcome to an episode of Interrogating Cam and Israel, where we answer your darkest, deepest questions and thoughts that go on in your sick, demented minds.
What's wrong with you people?
That you posted in the comment section.
Folks, if you like this video, hit that like button, make sure you hit the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel so you can be notified when new episodes of Shift Fire come out.
Let's waste no time and get right into it.
Let's do it.
All right, so the first question comes to us from Daniel, and Daniel wants to know, what piece of military equipment is the most fun to use, and what is the least fun to use? Well, easy answer here, Daniel. I'm gonna tell you what's the least fun to use, just because it is so burned into my head how much I hate this.
It's mental scarring. Thanks for digging up the dark past. Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, all my PTSD is raging right now, but my least favorite equipment to use is gonna be your mop gear. And your mop gear is gonna be like your gas mask, your sweatsuit. It's just not fun to be in. And if you gotta use the bathroom, might as well just pee your pants. I remember on a training op, like I had to pee so bad, and it was training, so I just literally took a knife and stabbed my suit and like cut a hole down the leg and just was peeing outside my pant leg. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But
I peed on rock marches before.
Yeah. I peed on myself, I peed on other dudes, I peed on poop. Yeah, pee, poop. Surprise. Yeah,
surprise,
there's a lot of pee and poop in the military.
You're not surprised. But you knew that. Down there, you knew that.
And then my choice would be, it's super cool in all the video games, but the 50 cal, the Barrett, the M107, that thing looks cool, it's heavy, it's super cool looking, but when you shoot it, it's not fun. It rings your bell and dirt flies everywhere and you take a shower every time you have to shoot the gun. It's just not a fun gun to shoot. But I'd say my favorite thing to do is just shooting big machine guns, man. I was a gun team leader in my deployment, and you know, I was in charge of the Mark 48, I was running a 240, I got my 308 SCAR, so just big guns with big bullets. That's my favorite part, shooting those bad Larrys all day. Nice. What about you, man?
Let's see, least favorite, it's really more the feeling that I would get after 6, 7, 8 hours in my helmet, the Peltors, and then the safety glasses as it kind of compresses into the sides of your temples.
Yeah, it hurt.
Yeah, you're really feeling it after coming back home from the mission. You're like decompressing, you know, pulling them out. You know,
yeah, it's like you're taking your bra off at the end of a day. Just let those things hang, man.
I'm thinking of stuff that I have fond memories of. Maybe you know this feeling, like when you put on like the body armor and everything's like tricked out, you know, modded out the way that you want it. You know, there's a feeling you get after you've kind of been in it. It just feels so, you feel really settled. I feel like you can do anything. I really love the M4 that I worked with. I mean, you just have it on you all the time. You wear it, you're out of the missions, you shoot with it all day, and it just becomes that extension,
An extension of your body.
Extension of your body, yeah, it really does, because you become so familiar with it.
This is my rifle.
This is my gun. Oh wait, there are many like it, but I was gonna.
Yeah, come on, man.
Okay, no.
We're not Marines.
You know what, I'll leave.
We're way better than them. Well, we hope that answered your question, Daniel. What's next?
All right, this question is, based on your military experience, do you believe that aliens exist? Would you join Space Force to fight them? This is from Jack R. Thank you, Jack.
Well, Jack, if that is your real name, aliens 100% do exist, in my opinion. Now, I am not at liberty to disclose my experiences with the extraterrestrials in my military experience, because they will find my family and kill them based off the NDA I signed. But I think, and here we go, put your tinfoil hats on right now. There's no way that we are the only thing that exists in one teeny tiny little planet in multiple galaxies. So, would I join the Space Force? 100% yes, because I would want to be a space ranger, just like my personal hero, Buzz Lightyear.
Aliens don't exist. And I'm saying this for their benefit, because if they do exist, they're dumb. All right, what do? They mess with our cattle, they leave weird prop signals, and like, what are you doing? They're a bunch of performance artists, that's what they are.
What about the Space Force, dude? What do you think about that?
Joining Space Force? I think Space Force just sounds cool.
It does sound
It's kind of a joke right now, maybe in the military community, but you mark my words, folks, because we're going out to the stars to find those space alien performance artists, and we're gonna go fight them. We're gonna make better sidewalk drawings than they do.
This question comes from Liz. Thank you for your question, Liz. And she wants to know, what's the best prank you ever pulled and was pulled on you while serving? This one's gonna take some depth of thought.
You know what? Can I answer this one first?
Sure, man. Give me some time.
I'm very sensitive. Like, I'm a nice guy. I want to be nice to people and not pull pranks on them. Listen, leave me alone. I never pulled pranks on anybody, all right? I was always the one that got the pranks pulled on me, all right?
It's because you're an easy target.
I am. They can sense weakness. And they smelled a lot of weakness coming off of this guy. You know? Yeah. I was the nice guy. I was the one that helped everybody.
Well, what did they do to you?
It wasn't really a prank. It was just, hey, go and reorganize the comm closet, you know, where all the radios and stuff are.
Just manual labor.
Yeah, just do it. Just.
They're like, here you go.
And then they're leaving. I'm like, is it time to go? They're like, no, go reorganize the closet. They just wanted me to stay longer. It was just like it wasn't even that original bill, all right?
Yes, someone doesn't have any underlying hatred for people.
No, not at all.
It's okay. In Ranger Regiment, you know, hazing is a culture. So there is no real pranks. They're just things that we do to each other. So there was a story of, you know, my weapons squad. They would get the newest private and they get him naked and lube him up and go touch the back of another squad's cage. And the general rule of thumb is you don't go in anybody else's cage unless you're invited in or you're part of that squad. You pretty much send in like a blood over to the Crips house. So he would have to go and touch the back of the cage, and the second he entered, everybody would jump on him and try to beat the crap out of him, but he was lubed up, so it would be like, Fink,
very Jason Statham transporter style fight. Yeah.
And also birthdays are terrifying days. It's like in the normie land, it's, you know, birthdays are great days, everybody gets dinner and everything and whatnot, but in the military, birthdays are terrifying days. Once they find out it's your birthday, your life's over. I changed my birthday date on Facebook because I didn't want anyone to know, and they find out, somehow they find out, and you know you're when someone goes, hey Cam, happy birthday. And you're like, God, game over, man, game over.
Game over.
And it got to the end of the day and it was nighttime and they're like, okay, we need to go like check the vehicles or something, something's wrong. So everybody goes downstairs. So I walk out there and I just see one of my big country fed dumb privates. And he's like standing there and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? And he just looks around and goes, get him! And then he tackles me to the ground and everybody jumps out of holes in the ground and like literally starts attacking me. So I'm sitting there trying to throw punches and everything and they're holding me down and they're putting zip cuffs, duct taping my feet together. They throw a hood over me and not to mention they gave me 23 pink bellies and I had blood marks on my belly like for like 2 weeks of just handprint. And they loaded me up in the back of a Land Rover and just started driving in circles for like 10 minutes and then they opened the door, pushed me out of the vehicle and just drove away.
So it's like they kidnapped you, basically.
Yeah, pretty much they kidnapped me, and then luckily I know how to break zip cuffs, so I just grabbed them in front, and I was like, yeah, use your pet. And I took my hood off, and I was just still in the compound. They were just all sitting behind rocks, like giggling and everything, and I was like, yo! And yeah, so that was pretty much pranks pulled on me, and pranks pulled on everybody else is just a similar story, just with me slapping someone down.
Sounds fun. Glad I wasn't a ranger.
Yeah.
All right, this question is from Lincoln T. Thank you, Lincoln.
Cool name. Lincoln
Logs.
Logs.
Sir. Yep, I was thinking of Abraham Lincoln, but whatever. What is the single most difficult thing you had to endure while training?
Oh man, that's an easy one. That just hits me right in the head. Mountain phase is the only time in my military career where I ever thought about quitting. Where I was like, man, if I recycle this phase, I'm literally gonna quit. Everybody is sleep deprived, they're starving, and it's cold as shit. I went through in wintertime and it just was not a good time. I ended up spooning like 6 different guys with a poncho around.
Hey, there's no shame in your game.
Yeah, for warmth. So, but hey, it's for warmth, okay. But what about you, man? There
was one time in SEER school, which is the Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape, where you get captured. And one of the things they do to you to make you miserable is they just have you roll around half naked in a wood chip pit, back and forth saying, sir, I am a worm, sir, I am a worm, and they spray you with the water hose. And you're just so cold, because I went through kind of in a cold period in North Carolina. It's just being cold. I just didn't like being cold in the Army.
Being cold sucks.
Being cold sucks.
Now this question comes to us from Esmeralda V, and she wants to know, how much did your diet change before, during, and after military service? Well, during the service, it actually got really good, but when I joined the military, I was 135 pounds, and when I graduated basic training, I was 165 pounds. And the secret sauce is literally sauce with Thousand Islands dressing if you're going to gain weight. But it actually improved a lot, because in regiment, they gave us diet courses. They actually had personal trainers, and we had an entire fitness facility to do ourselves, and even after, I still meal prep, I still count my calories. I do like 3,000 calories a day and split it up like a 50, 35, 25 type of split between, you know, carbs, protein, and fats. So my diet actually improved because I didn't know before I joined the military. I was just a kid eating Taco Bell with $5 in my pocket every lunch. And now, I still eat Taco Bell every now and then, but it's more controlled and there's actually a thought process behind my diet. What about you?
I didn't know anything about diet before I joined the military. I didn't really learn a whole lot towards the beginning of my military career. All I did was work out all the time. It's like you, I started basic training at 165 and I ended basic training at 185. It wasn't that I ate any better, I just worked out a whole lot more.
Yeah.
You know, I just trained all the time. So it was
Became a brick house.
Yeah, really. And then as I went through my military career, I started doing some self-learning. You know, I talked about the zone diet and all. I started doing CrossFit and they're really into fitness and that kind of community and stuff. And then since I've left the military, I've just continued my education. I was a personal trainer for a time. Afterwards, I would say now I eat a whole lot better, generally speaking, than I did during the military or even before, you know. All right. This question is, what was the most unforgettable moment or experience that you had while serving? Wow, that's a tough one.
That's a toughie.
Okay, I got one. I got to go to Halo School, which is high altitude, low opening. It's military free fall.
You lucky.
It's so lucky, so happy, and it was the funnest school I went to. You don't ever do a tandem jump. You just learn how to fly in a wind tunnel, you learn how to pack your chute, and then you fly out to Arizona to the Yuma Proving Grounds, and you do your first jump. It's you and an instructor. It's 1-to-1. And that first moment where they open up the tailgates of the C-130 and you get to see the earth before you. It's a hot day in Arizona, and you jump out.
I can really see it.
Oh, you do. I can feel it right now, man. Oh, it was just the most exhilarating thing. I just never thought that I would be able to do anything like that in my life, and it was amazing.
That's awesome, man. Actually, I do have a cool thing. We were on deployment. We helped run a CCP, which is a casualty collection point, and one day we had a casualty come in, blast explosion, and he died on the table. And it's actually a funny story. It's gonna sound like a douchey story. We're in the gym bench pressing, because there's a gym that was one room in the CCP, and we're bench pressing. We just hear the alarm. That means there's a casualty coming in. And he's on the table, and we stop working out, go in there, and start doing chest compressions on him, and end up bringing the guy back to life.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, so that was super cool. Yeah, we were doing chest compressions and they're doing the whole clear. And we actually sparked his heart up again and he ended up going to further care. And then we just, right after, we went back and finished our set.
You gotta finish that.
So that was an awesome story. We still talk about that one, but yeah, that was a great memory. All right, Whitney B. You want to know, what's the strangest animal insect that we have encountered? Oh man, you know, I was so fortunate that I'd never encountered a camel spider overseas, because those are like the mythical beasts that bring a full-grown man to tears. They're terrifying, but no, there was a snake on my PL's rucksack when I was in Ranger School, like a baby rattlesnake, sitting right on top of it, because you know, when you're in a patrol base, everybody's around you like a triangle, and then the important people are in the middle, like the command structure, and I was a squad leader, so we're all sitting there, and the rucksacks are in a ruck plan, which are all stacked. I was like, don't move. And there was a baby rattlesnake right on top of her rucksack. I was like, damn, and the RI came and he like picked it up and just chucked it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but then there's also tarantulas like in Northern California. Big mother tarantulas. And I hate spiders. That's one thing about me, so I was not happy being there.
Me too.
Yeah. One thing in Florida phase, when you're in the swamps in Ranger School, they do like, before you go out on your like 10-day patrol, they like do a reptile familiarization class, and they bring out all these snakes, and they show you exactly what you may encounter out there in the swampland. They have this giant crocodile pit, and there's like a 9-foot crocodile that lives on the post, and they're like, they're out here. But when you're infilling for the first time, you're on these Zodiacs, which are like those black inflatable military boats, and they don't give you an engine, of course, so you gotta paddle because it's Ranger School. It's tough. You know, if you're sitting on the side, your leg is all the way in the water, and they're like, there's alligators in here, there's snakes in here, and you're sitting there and you're like, oh my god, my legs. If you've watched Jaws, if you've watched like any shark movie, it's terrifying. And then you also have to do like a planned river crossing, and you literally have to get in this river, and one of the steps is to sit there and make sure that there's no alligators or crocodiles in this section before you cross it, because you go like tits high in this water and you just shimmy across it. But the thing they don't tell you is when you're waiting for this thing to be constructed, at nighttime, you're waist deep in the swamps, waiting in a line in the middle of nowhere. And you know, it's pitch dark, you can't see anybody in front of you because you're all tired, and you'll just hear a splash go. And you're like, Let's get the out of here, man. Let's go. Hurry up. But yeah, that was the scariest thing with animals, and I'm so glad that the snake encounter was just the only thing I encountered.
I had a camel spider encounter.
Did you?
Yes. It was
Did you
very
cry?
brief. It was very brief.
Did you poop your pants?
I froze, actually. Literally, my body froze up because we were in our compound in Iraq, and it was one of those hot nights, and me and my buddy were working out. We were like actually stretching, and it was one of those things where you're reaching forward, and it just
Out of the corner of your
crossed
eye.
my path. I just see it. It's on these legs, and it's
They're
like
huge people. Camel spiders are like
They're
this
tall
big,
and they're huge.
and they're fast.
And it doesn't matter how much people tell you that they're not known to like attack people. Aggressive. It's still giant. It was bigger. It was as big as my hand or bigger, you know. And it just crawled across, kind of left its shadow across me, and then it left. I never saw it again. I just froze. I'm like, and then I went inside immediately.
It could be anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, only one encounter with the camel spider. All right, this question is from Justin N. Thank you for the question, Justin. What keeps you up at night? What do you fear most about our national security? Woo.
Yeah, nothing really keeps me up, man, because I sleep with a Glock next to my bed, so I feel pretty safe. Nothing as far as just like national security keeps me up. I mean, the whole China thing's very scary, just with their capabilities and what we may or may not encounter in the future of the world, which is unknown. But Americans scare me, dude. Americans are scary now.
Americans are pretty scary.
Yeah, a lot of people scare me. I don't lose sleep over it because I'm tough.
I mean, national security, listen, you know, like, I'm a Christian. My life belongs to Jesus. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So maybe
if it's my time, it's
maybe
my time.
it's either faith or ignorance, you know. So, but we'll watch out. We'll keep an eye on China.
So this question comes to us from Jesse C. And Jesse wants to know, are there any books, movies, or TV shows that you would recommend for civilians to gain a better understanding of true military life and experiences? And what movie/shows does the best job of portraying most realistic combat situations?
The answer that comes to mind when it comes to portraying the idea of being in the military, Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I like this book because it does a really good job of highlighting the necessity of really hard training, arduous, maybe sometimes scarring training, but it's for a purpose because it's the necessity of training people to fight in war, training people to go through stressful situations and not break down. It's like you have to do both. From the outside perspective, it might seem kind of harsh, but it has a purpose to it.
Yeah. And if I had to recommend a movie, I would say Jarhead. I think Jarhead does an excellent job of showing, you know, the training those Marines go through. They're being trained to go to war and to fight an enemy that's, you know, approaching extremely fast, but the entire movie they're being told they're going to get in a fight and nothing ever happens. It's a lot of hurry up and wait, which the military is totally. I think it does an excellent job of really portraying that, like, even though you're in the military, that doesn't guarantee you combat, that doesn't guarantee you even a deployment nowadays. Deployments are scarce, but I think it highlights where the military is training you for a goal, but it may never happen.
One movie that I liked, the acting's not very good because they're actual Navy SEALs, but Act of Valor. I thought it was a great movie because they really tried to really put real tactics and real world situations and real equipment. That was the whole point of the movie. So it's a good like nugget of truth about Navy SEALs, even though the acting's horrendous because they're not actors.
I would say as far as portraying realistic combat, I think Saving Private Ryan did an excellent job in that beginning scene, just showing how violent it can be. And I mean, the Americans did an awesome job. And I'm not just saying that because they are 2nd Ranger Battalion Rangers in the beginning set. And you know, you might be like, Cameron, you're biased. But no, I think the combat scenes, you know, the actual battle drills they use, fire and maneuver schemes, were all, I thought they were excellent. So Saving Private Ryan would have to be my choice for that second question.
All right, okay. This question is from Aaron W. What do you do if you really have to take a poop while in the middle of combat? Wow, in the middle of combat.
Middle of combat? Wow. Hey man, sounds like a good time to me.
Wow.
Pants.
Just poop, yeah, just go, man.
Yeah, everybody's so reliant on like toilet paper. Oh, somebody's looking at me. They're gonna see my butthole go like this.
You realize how few things matter.
Oh yeah.
When you're in a combat situation.
Yeah, either your pants or drop trowel, squeeze it, push that out, and then keep moving, man.
Yeah, like keep moving. You'll worry about it later, man.
In reconnaissance operations, that's actually a big concern is sanitation, because if you're sitting in a serve site or like a hide site, which is pretty much a camouflage area where you're sitting for like up to 3 days and you never leave this hole, you think, oh, where do I poop? You know, you can bring an MRE box with you and you can turn that into a toilet and you just bring baking soda. And like once you in this bag, box, toilet, makeshift thing, you just put a little baking soda on top of it. The zinger is everything you bring, you have to take. So you just tie it up and throw your in your rucksack and you exfil.
Leave no trace.
Leave no trace. Always sanitize.
No brown streaks.
Like earlier in the question, I said it all comes back to poop. This is where we ended
we've
back
come
with poop.
full
We
circle.
started with poop and we ended with poop.
Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for your questions.
Absolutely, those are really fun to answer, and we hope that we hit them on the head. And if we didn't, it sucks to suck, I guess. You just have to tune into the next one.
That's right.
And see if we answer your question.
Folks, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel.
Please, please, please go crazy in the comment section. We want to know what you guys are curious about the military, and we might take your comment and answer it in a future episode. Make sure the notification bell is turned on so you know when a new Shipfire episode comes out. And that is all we have for you folks. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Also, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section with
the questions that you want to know, and we are going to be answering them against our will because the producers have guns that you can't see.
We're locked in this room right now. Please send help.
Go crazy in the comment section. We don't give a what you put in there. Just don't put your mom's naked body. That's weird.